Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Big Nez Bootcamp, and today is episode 3. So what we've gone over, no, it's episode 4. What we've gone over so far is what trading is, candlesticks, looking at a chart, what the confluences are we use within the strategy, how to get the bias and put the strategy and bias together on the charts. And now what we're going to be doing is going over how to actually take these trades on the execution platforms, which companies to use in terms of prop firm accounts, what prop firm accounts are, and then how to scale your trading business. So this is going to be a pretty in-depth, pretty lengthy video within the bootcamp, and I'm going to be going through everything. So first things first, I just want to go over what a prop firm account actually is. So you will sign up to these companies, and what will happen is you will pay them an amount of money to get a challenge for a trading account. Let's take, for example, ACG, which is going to be your first account you're going to use. So with ACG, you can pay them 30 Great British Pounds to get a challenge for a $10,000 account. And on this account, all you have to do for phase 1 is make $1,000 without losing $1,000. And then you clear the first phase of the account. Now, once you've done that, you'll be given another account detail login, or if you use cTrader, it will just automatically connect. Then, once you've got that account, you'll have to make $500 without losing a K for the stage 2. They call this the verification process. And you will complete that, and then boom, you have access to that $10,000 account, and any profits you make on that account, you can withdraw. Keep in mind, I emphasized on profits there. You can't just pass the account and take out 10,000. For example, you'll have to make 600, which is going to be our profit target on a 10K account. Then you withdraw the money from that account and you get an 80-20 split with ACG in this case. So that would be found 480 after the split. So let's dive straight into this. So we spoke about futures and Forex. So they're the two different types of exchanges you can trade with. So for Forex, we are going to be running with companies such as ACG, Alpha Capital Group for these small 10K accounts, the 30 quid ones to get the ball rolling. And then once we get paid out from these 10K accounts, we're then going to be using that money to scale into big FTMO accounts because they're a more reliable company and they are just well established. And for futures, we are going to be using Alpha Futures, code Nez, or Top Step X. So these are two different companies that run futures accounts. Like I said in previous videos, the only difference is we are trading in contracts, not in lots. That is literally the only difference between Forex and futures. So yeah, they are the two types of accounts, like two types of exchanges we're going to be trading on, the two types of funded accounts we're going to be getting ACGs and Alpha Futures. And what I'm going to be showing you now is how to actually use these platforms. So for ACG, we are going to be using, I like to use cTrader. A lot of people like to use MT5, but I just personally much prefer cTrader. It's just a lot easier and it's a lot more beginner friendly as well. And then for futures, we are going to be using TraderVate. And now the lovely thing about TraderVate is a lot of people like to hate on it because it's actually quite a confusing software to learn, but there's a silver lining. It connects to TradingView. And once you've connected it to TradingView, it's one of the most simple and easy to use softwares I've ever come across. So what we're going to do first, we're just going to go over that because, to be honest, this is going to be the easiest way for you to really get into it because you've already learned how to use TradingView, and this is literally just going to be plug and play. So if you do want to get started just only using TradingView and not having another execution platform, you can go in the link below and sign up for a Alpha Futures account and use code Nez. But I know in some countries, Alpha Futures and futures just in general are not available. So that's why we're also going to be covering Forex, and Forex accounts are also a lot cheaper. You can get a £30 10K account to get you started. However, the minimum investment on a futures account is, I believe 70 something dollars for an ATG. Yeah, £72 for a Alpha Futures 50k zero account. So keep that in mind. Now, once we are on here, I'm going to have to connect into my TraderVate account here. All we would do, say we've got our setup. This is our setup here. This is just an example. There is no setup here. Say this was our setup here, and our position, we're going for a buy. We would set our levels, make sure we're at a nice 1 to 3. And then all we're going to do is we are going to come in and click trade, and then make sure we're on limit order. And then what we can do is we can use this drag drop down here, and we can drag it down here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly move my head so you can, oh fuck. I'm going to quickly move my head so you lads can see this whole bit over here on the right. So what you want to do is make sure you're on order. This is, in this case, we're on a buy position, limit, and then all we want to do is literally, you got this draggy here. We're going to put it on our entry line. We're going to get the stop loss. We're going to drag it down to our red line, and then our take profit we're going to bring up to here. And then with futures, what we're going to do is, for example, say we didn't want to risk 366 here. We wanted to risk 500. This is why a lot of people trade Forex, because futures, you can't get it absolutely bang on. I can only have one contract at a time. So we'll just up this until we get close enough to 500. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to over risk by 49. So we'd go down, and then in this case, we'd be risking 457 for a 1,372.50 profit. Can't think today. And we're going to just literally, down here, there is a buy button. We are literally just going to click this buy button, and then that order will be placed on the market. So that is how to use TraderVate with Alpha Futures. And we are now going to move on to cTrader. But what I'm going to quickly show you, just in case people get confused, is the exact same thing for a short position. So say our short position's here. We're going for a nice 1 to 3ers. All you want to do is limit sell, and then you'll be able to drag the stop loss to your stop loss size, drag the take profit down here, tap on the units here to send it up or down, adjust our risk, and then yeah, that is pretty much it. You just click sell there. So that is how you use Alpha Futures. And now we are going to go into cTrader, which is how we are going to be running our 10k ACG accounts. So on here, we are going to log in, and all you do on here looks it looks really complicated, but it really isn't, trust me. All you want to do is zoom in to the current place in time, and then, for example, we've just broken structure and we've got our limit orders on here. This is on the Nasdaq. So if I'll go on US 100 here, we'll mark out the exact same trade. So all we're going to do is actually have it locked off. Here we go. Up here, we have a little bar that has all the tools that you would find on TradingView. And this might be on your side down here. It might be down here. I've moved mine up here just because it's where I prefer it being. And what you want to do is obviously the same exact thing again. Get your fib tool, and then put your fib tool after the break, and then line up the fixed risk buy position. So this time we're actually going to be using the drawing, and we're going to use the drawing. And on cTrader, how they operate things is they basically integrate the drawing to the limit order. So if I'm looking here, look, we can already see this has got 1,000 risk and 3,000 profit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here into settings, and then I can literally just click risk amount, and I can adjust the risk in here. Say I want to risk 100 instead. Boom. Now this has been adjusted, so we're risking 100, and then all we're going to do is press that buy button or press that sell button. It is as easy as that. So now I've basically covered how we're going to take trades on cTrader and TraderVate. So we now have got Forex and futures covered within taking trades. And now I'm going to run through with you boys and girls the scaling plan, which is right here. This is what we got so far. So what I would recommend is, depending on your budget, get 10k ACG accounts, fire these up, try and speed run these, maybe chuck a bit more risk on. We are going to be covering risk in the next video, but in this video, we're just going to be covering the accounts and execution. So with the 10k accounts, we're just going to be buying them whenever we can, maybe on a Monday, maybe on a Friday, and then like once or twice a week, something like that. And then with the futures accounts, we're just going to be stacking these up in the background on the side. And once we've maxed out our amount of futures account we can have with Alpha Futures, we will then move on to Top Step and we'll just max out with them. So right here, what are you going to do? So we've got our Forex accounts here, our 10k accounts. We are going to target a 600 payout. Yeah, I will tell you why in a moment. But yeah, we are going to target a 600 payout here. And then with the futures, we are going to just max them out and target whatever payout you desire. So you could target, say, 2,000, you could target 3,000, 4,000, whatever you want to target, you can decide on futures what you want to target. And once we've got our $600 plus on our live ACG account, we want to request a payout. And once we've requested our payout, we will get 480 Great British pounds after the split. And what we're going to do is we're just going to reinvest that money straight back into the game and buy an 100k FTMO account. Now these accounts literally cost around £450. So we will literally just like insta invest back into 100k FTMOs, and then we'll stack up 100k FTMOs. Because the problem a lot of people make is they just like buy a 100k account first, and then they get really emotionally invested into the progress of that account and they want that account to do well. And then when they blow that account, they're just absolutely devastated. But if you've literally got the account from a 10k 30 quid account payout, you're going to be way less invested in that account. You're just going to let it run as you do with all your other accounts, with the correct risk plan that we're going to run through in the next video. And that is pretty much it for executing trades and the scaling plan. And we will dive in more in depth into scaling strategies later on in the bootcamp. But I just want to get all the information out here fast, ready. So if someone's actually locked in, and I hope it's you, you can just get going instantly. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, boys. That's the Big Nez out, and I shall see you in the